In the 1960s, four political scientists whose last names were Miller, Converse, Campbell, Miller, and Stokes published a book in which they asserted that American voting is largely based on party identification, and that elections are of three different kinds: maintaining elections, deviating elections, and critical elections. In a maintaining election, the majority party wins control of both Congress and the presidency, thus keeping the machinery of government in control of the majority party. Deviating elections are one in which the minority party captures control of the presidency and perhaps Congress due to short-term intervening forces or personalities. And most importantly, there are the realigning elections, or critical elections, which are characterized by massive shifts in partisan identification. These produce a generally long-lasting shift in personal party identification, or among individuals or among groups. And they identify, and by the way, this is based on a piece of work done by V.O. Key called Critical Elections in American History, 1828, 1860, 1896, and 1932. I'm sure you probably paid attention to these in your history classes. The 1828 election, 1828, was the election of Andrew Jackson, 1860, Abraham Lincoln, 1896, William McKinley, and 1932, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. And a two-party system, it's winner-take-all with single-member districts in the Electoral College. There are some cultural factors and some party identification factors that go in. So what factors support a two-party system? The historical background, political socialization, the winner-take-all electoral system, particularly the Electoral College, and state and federal laws which definitely favor two-party system. Now, in the current era, we're talking about party de-alignment. From 1968 to the present, there's been a decline in party loyalty among the population. Now, interestingly enough, the parties have become ideologically cohesive, with the conservatives taking care of the conservative end and the Democrats taking care of the liberal to moderate liberal, and the creation of very effective party machines. There have been a number of third parties in the history of the United States. We can go back and look at those: the Prohibition Party, the Greenback Party, the Progressives of 1912 and 1948, the Dixiecrats in 1948, which were a split-off. The conservative Democrats, particularly those who were white Southern Democrats, broke off and nominated their own candidate for president. And then various personality organizations like Anderson and H. Ross Perot. Minor parties perform a wake-up call for the two major parties. They can champion original ideas. They can encourage the discussion of new proposals. They can force the mainstream groups to rethink and justify the status quo. And majority parties frequently tend to adopt the proposals if they become popular. They give life to democratic norms such as free speech and the right to organize. Now, in recent time, there's been some literature on our political parties did, and they point out that the elimination of patronage has weakened parties. Competitive contracts have taken away the ability to simply award contracts to favorites. Primary elections, which this is going to be a very interesting presidential year, in which the primaries will be largely determinant of who the Republican and Democratic Party nominees will be. The rise of political action committees with large chunks of money that they can throw into the race. The rise of the importance of media and political consultants who tell the candidates what to do and how to do it. Our party's dead. It's going to be an interesting time to determine.